beautiful goddesses. Whenever you tune in with me today or at some time in your life, I invite you to tune into this energy of love, energy of self-love, energy of the lover within yourself, the sensual, divine, feminine energy. I just had an incredible transmission, energy healing call in my private mentorship group, and it was on the topic of self-love or connecting to the lover archetype within, connecting to not only our feminine part, but uniting our feminine with the masculine inside so that they can create a beautiful love within, that they can create a beautiful sacred love making within. So I wanted to come and share a little bit on that, and also remember this beautiful ancient festival of Beltane that is celebrated on May 1st. This is a festival of fire where people gather and they create fires and they find their partners and their lovers, and they jump over the fire and run away in the forest and make love and create this beautiful creation that is born on December during the Yule, during the winter solstice, as the light is born. So inside we are creating that light as we find the inner lover, the inner feminine, the inner masculine. So to get us more connected into that inner lover, I wanted to tell you a little story. My cat is meowing and I may have to go. Well, no, she's fine. I hope that she's not disturbing. And if she is, just tuning in and away from the whole world, and just taking a pause to tune inward, to feel into yourself, to feel into that inner lover, the inner lover that is maybe in some way is still blocked by any shadow or any blocks or any obstacles. And I will chant, and I invite you to chant this mantra with me and to use this chant as the healing elixir to soften any blocks, to release any chains, to unwind any ties, to untie any ties in the heart of anger, of fear, of insecurity, of anxiety, of shame, of guilt, that prevent us from being fully in love, being fully devoted to our own self, from that feminine within, uniting with her masculine, for the masculine within to awakening into the feminine within. So it's just this dance and play of myths and stories. And the mantra that I would love to share today is Om Kama Pujitayei Namaha. It's a beautiful mantra of devotion and of worship and of finding that worship within us. So puja means worship. Puja means divine worship. So within our own selves, we bring that divine worship to the opposites within when we find each other within, and then we worship and we bow and we honor. Puja, worshiping our whole being as the body temple, worshiping our physical body as the body temple, worshiping our soul worshiping our breath as the energy that comes in, worshiping our mind that has its own demons and shadows, worshiping that sacred spirit body, and worshiping our emotions, allowing ourselves to feel everything that is here to feel, and to truly have that devotional practice for the lover within you, to celebrate the love within, to celebrate the union of love making within yourself, to yourself, allowing yourself to remember who you are, this powerful, divine, feminine, sacred, sensual, sexual, wild energy within that has been put out, shut down for generations and generations and decades of our own lives. So to find that true confidence in loving ourselves in this moment, we chant these mantras, we create these practices, whatever they may be, so different for all of us. And I'm simply just sharing mine that has helped me connect deeply to that inner harmony. So in this myth is when we, well, in the myth, but as we breathe in, as we offer this breath becomes a worship to our own self. The words become the devotional divine worship towards that inner lover within. And this story is about one of the great gods, and his name is Shiva. And if you are in the yoga practices in any way or traditions, you may hear about Shiva and about Shakti. Shakti, his beautiful consort, this feminine energy that flows through our veins, this kundalini, serpentine-like energy of sexual, creative power. When we create babies, it's so symbolic of what we're capable of bringing. With co-creation of the masculine, we're able to conceive and create this miracle of life. And oftentimes this energy has been diminished because it was so powerful. A feminine, sacred, sexual energy is so powerful that it scared and still scares many people. And yes, still scares many nations. And the sacred energy is so honored during Beltane. During Beltane time, it's celebrated, the celebration of two beloveds in the form of a king stag, a beautiful horned king of the forest, chasing after females, and females turning into a white doe, into a white, beautiful doe. And together they run and they play in the forest, and they make beautiful love, and they create the light that is born into the world. And back in the ancient times, this energy was so powerful that when Christianity came and wanted to transition from the old ways of being, the stag king was turned into none other but the devil. And the mother, Mary, Mother Mary, was shown or presented as a virgin because the sexual energy was so powerful and people were afraid. So it was better to make Mary meek and humble and a virgin, so that all women would use that as an idol, so that women would forget their sexual, wild, creative power and energy. And it's incredible, and I honor the meaning of the Virgin, because the true meaning of the Virgin is to be whole into yourself, not necessarily, not, has almost nothing to do with the meaning behind it, the meaning of sex or sexuality behind it, but truly to be whole into yourself as the Virgin that knows her power and that can harness her sexual creative power into bringing her dreams into her life, dream babies, or her purpose work, her dreams, her gifts, her arts. And so coming back to Shiva and Shakti, the story begins with Shiva and Sati, and Sati was the goddess in her physical embodiment on this earth, and she was disrespected by her father. She was dishonored and disrespected by the masculine, and when the goddess is disrespected, she leaves. She will not take the disrespect and dishonor, and in a lot of cases she will sacrifice herself. She will be the sacrificing wife, or feeling either rebellious or like a victim in many situations. And in the story, Sati was so disrespected and dishonored in front of her father's kingdom and all the gods and goddesses by not being invited to this festival with her husband Shiva, who was also dishonored and disrespected by the masculine, by her father. And so in her despair, she sees the fire in the middle of the ceremony, and she walks to it, and she sacrifices herself to Agni, to this transformational power of fire. Just like we do sacrifice ourselves so often to the fire within our hearts, or to our external situations. So in that moment of her sacrifice, her masculine, Shiva, knew what happened. And I like to think of this as both parts of me. As my feminine sacrifices herself, the masculine feels and knows the sacrifice, and in this moment he becomes outraged, and he begins to his destructing ways, and he comes and he destroys the whole ceremony and everyone who's in it in the form of a warrior, Virabhadra. And then he picks up Sati's body, and he feels so much sorrow and grief that he just can't contain himself. So he begins to just fly all over the realms and the worlds, destroying the whole world in his grief and his just sorrow of the goddess being dishonored, the goddess being sacrificed to the fire. And so in this moment, his brother, his friend Vishnu comes, and Vishnu is the creator of it all, and he takes his discus and he throws it at Shiva, and this discus cuts off Sati's body in 7 different pieces, and they fall upon the land of India. And in those places, temples rise in honor of the goddess, and Shiva goes into his deep state of meditation and grief, and the world is in its destruction, and nothing can bring Shiva back to bring liberation to the world, except for Shakti being reborn, and being reborn in the form of Parvati, and giving birth to the son that will eventually save the whole world. There's more to each story. And in this story, Parvati knew that when she was born for Shiva only. So this is just like our feminine is being reborn again. And she's reborn again to find her masculine. She is reborn to devote her practices to reawakening the masculine from his deep meditative state in the mountains. As she herself knows, she has to be as fierce, she has to be as devoted, as committed. And so after much time, she has no success in awakening Shiva from his meditation. So she comes to Kama, and Kama is the god of love. And Kama is basically like Cupid that comes and shoots arrows at the heart of those that we want to awaken to love us. And so Parvati goes to Kama and she begs him, Kama, please come and throw some arrows at the heart of my beloved so that he can awaken and finally see me and finally remember me. Just like within us, our feminine is begging our inner masculine to awaken and to remember and to come into that harmony and unity that just keeps that separation, that unsatisfaction, unfulfillment constantly when we're seeking something in the outer world. Deep inside we know none of that can fulfill us until we find that within our own selves. So finding that unity within, we are begging the love, the God of love, to come and shoot some arrows at our masculine, and the God of love, his wife is I believe it's desire. So it's bringing that desire and love into the harmony, into to finally bring the union, the wholeness, the sense of belonging into our being, this physical body. So all of this is happening within, and it's written in so many myths and legends and stories, and we can write our own stories of our own inner Shiva, inner Shakti, finding their way to each other through so many practices and self-realizations and self-discoveries and reawakening and shadow work and working through whatever is keeping us asleep, working through whatever is keeping us afraid and small and humble and meek and frozen, just releasing the shackles, releasing the patterns. So Kama comes and he shoots the arrow at Shiva, and Shiva opens his third eye and he shoots his laser beam at Kama and completely destroys him. And later on, he brings him back to life because love still is here and always will be. But in this story, Om Kama Pujitayei Namaha is a mantra that invokes inner love, that welcomes inner love, that invites inner love to come in and to open and to reawaken and to awaken the ecstasy within, to awaken the eros, the force of erotic ecstasy, the force of offering. In this mantra, we invite that inner ecstasy, to find that inner love, to finally recognize ourselves as that inner beloved that we so often seek somewhere else, in our partners, in our spouses, to give us that love while we're feeling fear or insecurity or the need to please them, to be loved, or the fear of being abandoned, or the fear of separation. So we invite this sense of sacred love and sacred love making and a sacred love satisfaction within, so that we can come from this place of wholeness and confidence and deep, deep love and knowing of the self. So when we chant this mantra, I'm going to just go ahead and chant it, otherwise I can talk probably forever. So we'll bring our hands to this Yoni Mudra at the belly, and this is how we begin chanting Om Kama Pujitayei Namaha. In this way, just truly recognizing ourselves, our deep inner womb wisdom, and hold your Yoni Mudra, hold your womb with so much love, as if you were making love to yourself in this moment, and make love to yourself. There's no shame, there's no guilt. Allow yourself to truly feel this inner love within. And then sometime through, you'll put your hands to the heart and bring them into this fist, bringing the thumb and index together, and just letting your hands stay at the heart space like this, holding hands within. I like to think of it as the inner feminine and masculine are holding hands with so much devotion and absolute adornment for each other, to also untie any knots in the heart, to unwind any ties, and just allowing yourself to feel that inner beloved. And then lotus mudra above the head, just holding it here as if you are offering this beautiful love into the world. You're creating this beautiful transmission, this aphrodisiac, almost like this beautiful nectar, elixir of love, the fire that burns, the healing nectar, making love to your life, almost like this pouring in of love all around you, and you are this vessel that holds this inner love within yourself. So I will also be playing the mantra. This mantra is called Om Kama Pujitayei Namaha by Deva Prima. So I invite you to chant it with me. I will be chanting it 108 times. So this is a very healing practice for your body, for your mind, for your breath, for your spirit, and for your heart. So this is like the wholeness of bringing that inner lover within. Om Kama Pujitayei Namaha. So hands to the belly, and if you remember, you can move your hands into the heart and then above. I will just be chanting this now. Taking a breath in, a breath out. Beginning with Om. Om Kama Pujitayei Namaha. 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 Just letting this beautiful energy come all around you, engulf you in this beautiful worship of self-love, of the lover within, of your beloved, sacred inner marriage within, allowing yourself to find yourself within you, to allow your feminine to find your masculine in union, to bring each other into remembrance of who you are, living within this body vessel as wholeness, as innocence, as wildness, knowing that you are not alone, you belong here within your body and on this earth. So this connection to self-love, connection to sacred, beloved, sacred inner temple to create the love for yourself, within yourself, free of any fear, of any guilt, any shame, any insecurities and anxieties, to find that harmony within, to be in your full embodiment, to know that you are powerful and you can overcome any obstacle. You can reawaken that sacred love within, and you can make love to yourself within to fill your cup, and then you can offer that beautiful cup of love to all beings, to all living beings. Thank you so much for practicing, for being with me today, and sending you beautiful Beltane blessings of May, of spring, of blooming flowers and blooming nature, and the dance within across the fire. One of the beautiful Beltane rituals is to write a love note to yourself, or write a love letter, like a vow or like a commitment, a promise to love yourself in any way, to accept yourself fully, unconditionally. And then you can burn this little note or a letter into a candle or a fire, and you can jump over it like a symbol of your love, a promise to love and remember who you are deep inside. So thank you for tuning in. Whenever you are, leave me a heart or leave me a love in the comments, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. Blessings. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace to all. Namaste. Blessed be.